Hi guys, let's do a trade summary of our recent Ethereum USD trade. I've got the 1 hour chart up here, so let's dive into it. Had a nice strong bullish run from about $180 all the way up to 170. From there we just consolidated sideways and formed this bullish pennant price pattern. Bullish pennant is quite often a continuation pattern. Not always, but more often than not, higher probability it's going to break to the upside. That's what happened here. I don't usually take trades inside of a pattern, but in this case we just wanted to break either to the downside or upside. So that's what we got here. Our entry was this candle here. Once it closed, that's a beautiful bullish engulfing candle breaking with momentum to the upside, and that was where we entered there. So I'll just mention our stop loss. When you place a stop loss, you need to make sure that you place it in a point where your trade analysis and your bias and your opinion on the market is proven absolutely wrong. So what I mean by that is, when you set a stop, you want to have areas of support protecting your stop loss. So in this particular case, we've got a trend line, the top of the pennant, got a 1 hour 50 EMA, 1 hour 200 EMA, and this horizontal support and resistance level. So we've got 4 levels of protection before we hit stop loss. So the more levels of support, the better. So luckily we did have 4 layers of support. We broke back below the trend line, broke the 1 hour 50 EMA, but we got a nice rejection of horizontal support and the 200 EMA. Perfect. Once that rejected, we went sideways for a bit, and then in came the momentum. Beautiful move upwards, and away we went. From there, I wanted to give it a chance to break 274, as I just mentioned before, the previous high. If we did break that, we had some clear skies for a little while. So we let it run for a while. We had an attempt here. The bears come in and pushed it down, rejected it, and also here rejected again. So from there, we tracked sideways. We didn't sell off, which was encouraging, and that's why I kept it open. I wanted to give it a bit more of a chance. But these series of candles here, these few hours here, coming in with bearish momentum, and the 1 hour 50 EMA, it looked like we were potentially going to close below the 1 hour 50 EMA. We closed just on it. That's where I decided to close the trade. Why? We've been tracking sideways. I didn't want this to turn into one of what they call the Bart Simpson setups on Bitcoin, because Ethereum will follow. Coincidentally, that's exactly what happened. If you look at the Bitcoin chart, we've got a big bearish candle as well. But I just want to talk about funding. I'll never close a trade based on funding and costs and fees. I trade price action and technicals, and that's how I enter a trade, that's how I exit a trade, and that's how I manage a trade. If you're concerned about fees, running profit, or not taking a loss, that's an emotional reaction to the markets. But what is important is protecting your trade, preserving capital. During the trade, we moved to bulletproof. We moved our stop loss just above our entry, so we were risk free, and we had potential to move to the upside. So there was no downside, only upside on this trade. But what actually happened, because the funding fees were starting to climb, our break-even point also climbed. Price action wasn't climbing, price action was staying stagnant, and our break-even point was getting higher and higher. So what I found was we just lost our wiggle room, we lost our breathing space in the trade. If this 200 EMA had come up higher, that was a support level, but we just didn't have it. Like, we just didn't have any protection of a red candle like this, which we got. So that's why I closed it. I just didn't want to get closed out for break even only to see price move up. So I decided to close for a small profit, and what we'll do now is we'll wait for more downside, more bearish momentum and a rejection with a big wick, or we'll take a breakout trade from about 276 and look for 300. So we closed with profit. I think the trade was around about 30% ROE, but the funding costs ended up taking nearly a third of that, so we netted 20% on this trade. So that's not bad, but ideally, we wouldn't have got this consolidation, and funding fees wouldn't have taken so much out of it. That's fine, that happens. It's not a reason to close the trade, but it is a reason to protect your downside, which is what we did here. So that's it for the trade, really. I just want to point out the daily time frame and what made me consider closing early. Just one of the other factors was this level here, this resistance level here, which got rejected, we hit it and closed right on it with bullish momentum. I was hoping and anticipating more movement to the upside with this momentum, but we closed with a doji, another doji, a double doji. That's not a reversal price action pattern or anything like that. All that is consolidation, indecision in the market. So it was really from there, after those two dojis, a 50-50 as if whether we break up or down. So this current day we're in now, we've got some bearish momentum in. So we just couldn't follow through. Unfortunately, so be it, but that there is a pretty strong level. We gave it a chance to break it, didn't quite do that. So as you can see, resistance there, which was previously support back there. So I'm not ready to short this yet. I'm not ready to short Ethereum. We've still got this trend line here. If we break here, yeah, maybe so be it, but we've still got pretty good bullish price action here. And also if you look at the Ethereum BTC chart, that looks extremely bullish still as well. So I'm not prepared to short against momentum just yet. We want more confirmations before I'm happy to go with more downside. So that's it for the trade now, guys. There's still potential to re-enter this. We just want a bit better confirmation. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the recording.